welcome back to our night before Christmas stocking. This is how much I have done so far. You can see that this is a very complicated stocking. This is a stocking that I do not recommend you do as your first. You might want to do this as maybe a third or fourth stocking. You can see that I've got a couple of pieces, the boot and Santa's mitten that are pinned on. Santa's mitten, they told us to hang on to, and we're not quite ready to attach. But the boot we are ready to attach. And so I am going to stitch about 3/4 of the way around and then just add my stuffing into the area that I've left open. That I have found to be by far the easiest way to get my stuffing in and to stitch a piece that is going to be stuffed. I've done it many different ways over the years, but I do find that this is the way that I prefer at this time. It also means that I'm not dealing with as much of trying to keep the stuffing inside of the piece. And you can see here I've got a great little knot that, knots happen, and that I'm trying to figure out how to deal with here. You got to make sure you cut the right piece, or else you're going to cut where you've been stitching. So I think I've got it managed there. Sometimes, believe it or not, if you can get the knot tight enough, it'll pull right through the felt. So that is an option at sometimes. It doesn't always work though. And it looks like I'm still dealing with that nasty little knot. Nope. Okay. So like I said, going to stitch 3/4 of the way around here, and then insert the stuffing and then finish stitching it closed. You can see that each piece does take some time just to stitch it down. I'm very careful. I try to do my applique stitches about I would say less than 1/4 of an inch apart. They're not quite 1/8 of an inch, but maybe they're, I don't know, between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch apart. When you've got sequins, I like to place the stitch kind of in between each sequin. It allows the sequin to hide the stitch as well. So that's always a good thing. And then when you are coming to a piece here that is over the edge of the stocking, you have to go all the way around. It ends up being kind of a whip stitch that you're going to do all the way around the piece and the stocking back. And that creates a nice edge. I'll show you in other, I don't know if it'll be in this video or in others, how to attach the back of the stocking when you are going over a place like this where you have stitched a piece right to the edge. You just simply attach the back through the front of the stocking, and you don't go all the way through to the piece. That's the easiest way to explain it, but seeing it is probably a lot better. Okay, so I am 3/4 of the way around here. Just want to get a little piece. I need to take my pin out and then just get a little bit of stuffing to tuck down in there. Again, you don't want to stuff your stockings too full. Your piece is too full. They will cause a lot of buckling and shifting of your stocking front. All you want to do is just add a little depth, and it's amazing how little you need to add just to get that little bit of depth there. So always have your little bag of stuffing in your box of your working things. Currently right now my stuffing bag is a little low, so it's time for me to go grab some more from my bag in my garage. You can see here's just the little piece that I'm going to tuck down in there. And then when I get to the edge, I like to use my needle or a pin to really make sure that all those little hairies and things are down inside. They're not sticking out. And now you can just simply stitch it closed. Sometimes you need a pin to close that up and make sure it doesn't pop back out. Most of the time I find that I don't, because felt can stick to felt sticks to itself, and the stuffing also kind of sticks to the felt. So usually if you get it tucked down in there, you can just kind of hold on to it, and if you're holding on to the piece and it's not sticking out, it's not going to jump out on you or anything. So you can finish stitching your piece closed. And even though I've had people ask, do you always stitch all the way around? If you're going to stitch another piece right on top, why finish it? I don't know. I'm a finisher. I like the details. I like to do what the directions say and to finish it completely. So I do stitch all the way around every single piece, even if it's going to have another piece attached to it and maybe doesn't need to be stitched on one area. I do it anyway, and I hope that helps to improve the longevity of the stockings that I make. So far, I've got one stocking that is probably about 39 years old, and it's still holding up. There are no pieces or anything that's fallen off. So I think my technique works. I certainly am all for trying to find ways to make things a little faster, since I have quite a number of stockings to complete this year. But I am not going to sacrifice the integrity of the stocking for my need to get things done. That's just not okay. So now on this piece, this Santa's belt, and I cannot tell you why. Most often they would have a piece of black felt that you would stitch down here. But for some reason in this pattern, they have said satin stitch this belt. And that is a pretty significant piece of satin stitching there all the way across. So just get yourself locked in, get your satin stitch game going, and remember that if you have a gap that you don't like, you can always come back and fix that, but just keep stitching. Just keep stitching. Wow, even sped up, that took a long time to do. And then you put his arm on, and most of it doesn't show. But you know what? That's okay. It's all good. I always follow the directions. So here, let me give you a close-up of kind of what the stocking is looking like. You can see that I've got a number of pieces up at the very top that I haven't done, and the reason for that is the client that is requested me make this stocking for her wants to put the name up there where all those candies and goodies would be. So her suggestion was, why don't we hang them from a string, kind of like we did on one of the other stockings that we did that was actually designed for that. And so I said, okay, I would give that a shot. So I did put several of them actually on the stocking, the ones on the edges and the sides down here by the bed. I did actually attach to the stocking. Then the rest I made a back for each of those pieces and then strung them through a string that I attached up here in each corner and let them hang just kind of above their heads so that the green space between the green sequins and the bed was available to put a name. I put in those different colored sequins. I just thought they were so pretty, but she may end up having to take those off in order to get the name on. She's still, at this time, it's all been sent to her. They're finished. She loves them, but she still doesn't know the names that will go on these stockings. I think they're for expected children. So she wanted me to go ahead and send it to her without the name, and she'll take care of the name. So what I did when I hung those was take my scissors and scrape the paint off the painted indicator lines so that it was just an open green field up there at the top. There were no painted indicator lines. So you can see that I have to pick a lot of cat hair off of my stockings before they're done, or after they're done. I spent a lot of time doing that, but I get it all off, and you can see that this quilt turned out just lovely. I had so much fun doing that, and then the garland and everything here with Santa. This is just a stocking with a lot of really great detail. You can see that I have put Santa's mitten on here now, and we will hang a stocking from his mitten that he is placing up on the mantle. And you can see that the bag of toys is open. It's not stitched on the top, and we've got some stitching to do here on this package, and then we've got some more details. I think there's a little mouse that goes on top of the drum, and then just an absolutely darling rocking horse that sits right there at the toe of the stocking. So, and some things I guess that will go inside the bag as well. So let's just take a look at the directions and see where we're headed next. It looks like, we're nearing the finish line again. This stocking, I think, was over 160 pieces. I don't remember the exact amount, but it is one of the most detailed, most pieces of stockings that I have done in the past. So again, that's why I do not recommend it as an early project. Make sure it's a project that you do after you've got some experience and some understanding of how to work these projects and how to work with felt and sequins and etc., all the other stuff. So let's see. I still am not sure where we're headed here. I would guess that the next thing to do is whatever it is that goes on this package. That must be what's next. Just another idea is here on the bricks. I did stitch the piece down and then do the outline stitch through both the piece and the back of the stocking. You can see some of it here. I don't always go all the way through, but I can. And I did find that that really made a better result because you can go right to the edge of that piece and make the line good and straight. So I would recommend that. If you tackle this stocking, attach the piece first and then go ahead and do your outline stitch lines afterwards on all of that fireplace. Okay, looks like we're gonna make and attach the little mouse that goes on top of the drum. That's the next piece. This was a stocking that had the pattern and the directions all printed on one very large sheet, which I have to say I didn't really care for. It was a lot to keep folded up, and it did tear. I ended up having to tape it multiple times because of all the opening and closing, unfolding and folding of it. So I don't know, Bucilla, if you're listening, not my favorite. So here it is finished, and you can see that we have the toys and the candies are strung up there on the top. They are hanging in a way that the name could still be put up in the green area up there. They are all backed, and I did tack them down so that they would stay. They wouldn't be loose and flopping around and able to end up in front of the children's faces. That was important for me. You can see down here at the toe we have the little mouse sitting on top of the drum. We have the gold ribbon on the blue package, and we have the cute little rocking horse there. Such great details. And in Santa's bag is a teddy bear and holding a candy cane. And you can see we've got the stockings hung up on the chimney or on the fireplace mantle. Santa's putting the last one up there, and it really is quite a detailed, beautiful scene. I would recommend this as being probably one of my top favorite patterns or kits. But again, this is a kit for an experienced stocking maker or someone who's very experienced with Bucilla. So I will just let you look at the picture and admire the great creativity of the Bucilla stocking kits. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and blessings to you.